you know what the gifts are? You know how many there are? Well, check it out with me. I'll explain it all. Shalom, my friends. First Corinthians chapter 12, specifically verses 7 through 11, list the 9 gifts of the Ruach HaKodesh. We don't like to say Holy Spirit. It's in my title because that's how people will recognize what this video is about. It's the common understanding, but Holy Spirit is a pagan term, and I'll probably be making a video fairly soon about all these pagan terms, where they come from and why we don't like to use them. But we don't say Holy Spirit, we say Ruach HaKodesh. Ruach is spirit. HaKodesh means of dedication. And dedication, you know, I say this in many of my videos, Kodesh is referring to something that's dedicated and dedicated to one thing only. Anyway, let's get on 1 Corinthians chapter 12. I'm going to read it, verse 7. And to each one is given the manifestation of the Ruach for profiting. For to one is given a word of wisdom through the Ruach, and to another a word of knowledge according to the same Ruach, and to another belief by the same Ruach, and to another gifts of healing by the same Ruach, and to another operations of powers, and to another nevuah, that's prophecy, and to another discerning of spirits, and to another kinds of tongues, and to another interpretation of tongues. But one and the same Ruach works all these, distributing to each one individually as he intends. I have an important point I want to make about all this, and that's what led me to do this video today. But first, we have 9 gifts. There's the word of knowledge. That's where you might be given, the Ruach might give you knowledge about something that you have no knowledge of. In a moment where it's needed, the Ruach will give you this. And you'll just know something that you know, you have no business knowing, that you didn't know before. It's just given. It's a gift. There's number 2 is the word of wisdom. Same thing. In a particular moment where the Father wants to impart this for something that He's doing, He'll give you wisdom about something that you know you had no right knowing it. You didn't know it before. It's like, it's not just knowledge. You know, wisdom is something deeper and greater, and something very insightful about the depths of someone's personality or a particular situation. But it'll come to you, and you'll know it's a gift. You'll know it, that it wasn't yours, that you didn't have it before. It just, you know, it fills you, and then these words come out that are powerful. Number 3 is the gift of nevuah. That's the gift of prophecy, where in a particular moment, the Father can impart this gift to you because He wants you to nevu. He wants you to prophesy. And again, you know, you might even find yourself fighting it. It's like, geez, I know I have to say something, and I want to open my mouth and start speaking, but I don't even know what I'm going to say. That nevuah requires some powerful faith, you know. Like I said, you'll have that feeling that you want to speak, but you have no idea what you're going to say, and you can open your mouth and make a fool out of yourself. That's where the faith comes in. You open your mouth and you find out this message comes out, and it will be scriptural. But that's the gift of nevuah, prophecy. Number 4 is the gift of faith. Again, in a particular moment where a level of faith is required that you don't have. It's a gift. You'll find that, you'll be surprised. And you'll have, faith to do something that you can't explain, but you're given the strength and the faith, and you just do it, and it works out because it's the Father imparting a gift. Then there's the gift of healing. Again, a particular moment in time where the Father wants you to lay your hands on someone and heal them. In that moment, it's going to seem crazy to you. It's not going to make sense. The Father's ways are not our ways. It's always crazy. Trust me. I know. I've experienced every one of the gifts. And by the way, next week I'm going to put up a video because I'm nearing the completion of my book. It's titled Road to Paradise, How to Find the Way. And I'll be, in my book, I'm going to give examples of each one of these gifts that I've personally experienced, which is also part of the reason that I'm doing this video. I'll explain that in a minute. But the gift of healing, like I said, it's a particular moment. The Father moves on you. It seems crazy. I don't have the gift of healing. I've never done this before. And you put your, in faith, you're being told to do this. When the Father moves, trust me, my friends, there is no question that He is operating, and it's powerful, and it's unusual. And you lay your hands on, and that person will be healed. Number 6 is the working of miracles. It's always the same thing. There's a moment in time. The Father wants to use you for something, and He will perform a miracle through you. It'll be something, it's crazy, it doesn't make sense. You'll find yourself wanting to do something that you've never done before. You don't have any reason to think you even can do it. But there's this power in you that's commanding, and you do it, and boom, a miracle. Number 7 is discerning of spirits. Again, it's a gift. Again, it's a moment in time where the Father wants you to be aware of something, and you will discern a spirit. It could be a Kodesh spirit, or it could be a demonic spirit operating through someone. Or it could be, something like the spirit of lying, or somebody has the spirit of theft and they're going to steal something, and he lets you know. Number 8 is different kinds of tongues. People talk about speaking in tongues. Boy, this is why I'm making this video. There's an important point I want to make, and I'll do that in a minute. But yes, there will be a moment in time. The Father wants to use you. This one's kind of like prophecy, where you want to speak. You don't know what you're going to say. It's crazy. You open your mouth and you're speaking in some strange tongue. Often this will happen in a group setting, because there will always be someone else who is given the gift to interpret what you said in a language that everyone in the room is familiar with, like English. The last one, number 9, is interpretation of tongues. Like I said, If somebody speaks in a tongue, there's going to be somebody there who can interpret it. Otherwise, it's bogus. Those are the 9 gifts of the Ruach. Now, in 1 Corinthians chapter 14, we want to look at verse 39. And it says, so then, brothers, earnestly seek to nava, to prophesy, and do not forbid speaking in tongues. Let all be done decently and in order. That's an important point. It has to be orderly. But here we're told to earnestly seek to nava, to prophesy. The 1 Corinthians chapter 14, verse 1, we're told, pursue love and earnestly seek the spiritual gifts, but rather that you nava. The gifts, we're told to earnestly seek the gifts. Most of all, to nava. 1 Thessalonians chapter 5 verse 19 tells us, do not quench the Ruach. Don't suppress it. I have a story in my book about that, where I did suppress it. It's a crazy. Every chapter in my book is stories about the Father revealing Himself to me, and the last chapter is how to find the way, where I want to impart to you an understanding where you can follow that same path, the narrow path to His Malchut, to His kingdom. But 1 Thessalonians 5:19 tells us, don't quench the Ruach when this is happening. Embrace it. 1 Timothy chapter 4 verse 14 tells us, don't neglect the gift of the Ruach. 2 Timothy chapter 1 verse 6 tells us, stir up the gift. So we're supposed to, stir this up in ourselves. Look for it, seek it, desire it, especially to nava, to prophesy. Now here's the reason that I'm here to talk with you about this today. Because like I said, I've experienced every one of the 9 gifts in my life. And I'm going to share each one of those experiences in my book, and a lot more. But, TV evangelists, churches, whatever, it's always, this message is always delivered as though, like we read in 1 Corinthians 12, 7 through 11. One is given the gift of this, another one is given the gift of that, and so on, right? From what I've seen, everyone seems to interpret this like, oh, John has that gift, and Susan has that other gift. That's their gift. Like they have it. Like they own it. And I'm here to tell you, no, that's not the proper understanding. The word says one is given. It doesn't say one has. It's not a matter of ownership. Somebody will make a big career. I have the gift of healing, and they make a big career out of it, and they lay hands on people all the time. If that person does that and people are healed, then of course the Father is using that person. But a lot of times there's a lot of tomfoolery and trickery going on, and it's just, people making money, Here's what I want to explain to you. And as I explained each one of the gifts, I says there will be a moment in time, and this thing is needed, and all of a sudden you've got the gift for it. It could be any one of the 9 gifts. I do not believe that one person has the gift of healing, period, they own it, and they have that gift all the time. Another person has the gift of nevuah, and they own it, and they have that gift all the time. I don't believe that. And, you know, this understanding came to me through my own experience, because I know one day there was a moment and someone needed a healing, and I was called on to do it, and I never did it before. I didn't have the gift of healing. I didn't own that. I didn't have it. But in that moment, I was given it, like the word says. One is given this gift. Another one is given that gift. Well, on a different day, that one's given a different gift, and this one is given a different gift. It's given. It's not something they have. They don't own it. It's something that the Ruach imparts and gives to certain ones at certain times to serve the Father's purpose. So, you know, don't go looking, which gift do I have? If you have the Ruach dwelling in you, you are capable of being given any one of the gifts and all of the gifts at any time. So, the gifts are given. There was a time where I was in a church and I was being called to prophesy. This is a funny story. It'll be in my book, but I never prophesied before, and I don't remember prophesying after, although in a sense every time you quote the Father's word to anyone, you are technically prophesying. Nevuah. You know, so it goes like that. And the thing I want to point out is, don't look to see which gift you have. Don't look to see which gift he or she has. Nobody has any gifts. Nobody owns it. Gifts are given. You can be given the gift of knowledge, the word of knowledge. You can be given the gift to have the word of wisdom. You can be given the gift of nevuah, prophecy. You can be given the gift of faith at any time, gift of healing, working of miracles, discerning of spirits, speaking in tongues or interpreting tongues. Any one of those gifts can happen in you at any time. You should seek them. You should pray for them. Well, not for them, but pray that the Father imparts His gifts to you to do His work when He wills it, and that you eagerly want to serve Him and His purpose. But don't think that, you know, you have this gift because it puffs up the flesh. It's the flesh that even thinks that way. Nobody has any of the gifts. Nobody owns them. Nobody owns any one of them or any several, all of them. They are given at certain times to anyone who loves the Father enough to do His will when He asks. So that's my message this week. I hope it's been a beracha to you. Thank you, my friends, for supporting this ministry. And I'll see you next week. I'm going to talk to you about my book. And I'm excited about it. Shalom.